this week.
Well, you're not happy with this one?
No, I'm okay with this one. It did fit the theme of Raw. I can't think of anything else because Goldberg's son did not get mutilated. Oh, you should have had a bloody. You should have had a bloody Nia Jax. That's what I wanted to see on the thumbnail. Bloody Nia Jax.
I did have an opportunity for a black and white image of Nia Jax being pump handle slam, not riptide, pump handle slam. But it just didn't look right.
I feel like Nia needs to go with the paint on the face look now. Now that she was busted open like that, I was like,
the original Uso look. The original Uso look.
Kinda. Maybe the Big Bad Mama look. Just to throw some old ass names into it for the people who were alive for that era. Just to prove how old Big Bad Mama was a beast.
I believe the bad mama was Tamina this week. 2 belts, Tamina. Tamina 2 belts.
Tamina 2 belts. But the guy taking the selfie with Nikki ASH. 1, he looks like a creep, and 2, he kind of looks like Ethan Page. And what the fuck is this guy looking at? He's happy, but he's looking a complete different direction, as if something's happening over there.
I've got some unfortunate news for you.
What's
this
that?
Isn't the thumbnail.
What? It seemed like a happy thumbnail.
This is the thumbnail.
I am shocked. 1, there's not a woman on here. There's a bitch. His name's Goldberg. But there isn't a woman on here. Scream, Goldberg, scream. I really wanted Bobby Lashley to just whoop his ass legit. Just shoot. Go to jail for it. Cut the cameras off.
Him or his son. I felt the son deserved it.
Yeah, his son talked a lot of shit, and I didn't hear it, but I know he did. Said some racial shit too. Bobby ain't got time for that. Behind his back, like Bobby walked over to him, and he didn't say nothing. When Bobby walked away, he was talking again. Right away.
What?
I don't even know why his son was there.
The final contender. Well, his son was there to show off the glow up. He was a fat, chubby kid when he first appeared.
Yeah.
Then he had a glow up.
Now he can kick up. He can fight all the fans who talk shit about him being chubby and in the ring, and Goldberg picking his fat ass son. Now that guy can whoop their ass, I think.
Now I've got to ask you a question.
Yes.
As a black man in America, if a white man is holding a sword like that, but at this point it's a shank, correct?
yeah. This is a knife and a weapon, and it puts a piece of cutter to shame. Things have escalated quickly in wrestling.
If this was on the streets, I believe law actually applies in wrestling arenas still. This is attempted murder, no?
Yeah, this is at least a threat. Don't pull a knife out of somebody. And what's this dude's name? I don't know why I'm blanking out.
Shanky.
Yeah, I don't know why it was. I was like, fuck, what's his name? So Shanky, at this point, decided to quit the wrestling business because shit got too dangerous. Someone drew a knife on me. A fucking knife. And I know it's a sword, but in my mind, I'm going like a naked man in his underwear has a knife at me. I am no longer wrestling. This is no longer fun. Because I could die.
Yeah, but like they had the numbers game on him. He was struggling to get that sword. They had the numbers game.
Yeah, but you didn't think he would actually do it. Drew's a bad person. He threatened somebody with murder. Murder!
These 3 have disgraced Asia. I'm just saying.
I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Remember to like the video and subscribe. Ow, ow, ow!
right now. You guys are ridiculous.
Damn it. Damn you, Goldberg.
Well, I do have something new for you, but
Oh,
welcome everyone to the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I am, of course, Lord Manny Hayes, and I'm always joined by
Marcus, the grand finale. The kaiju of the show.
the Kaiju. I can't believe they mentioned that on TV.
I'm a kaiju. You should be on Kaiju Big Battle.
Okay,
Dangerous
so
Black Man.
let's start off with something I did on the mid-card mess. No, I did not get into any trouble. I did, however, this thumbnail was part of the caption contest where I said, wrong answers only. The winner will be
Ooh.
announced on the show. So,
Can I just yell all lives matter and just be done with this?
oh, you might have won that. But, okay, so, that's not fair. So, we have Micah with Vin Diesel and Terry Crews.
Ooh.
I was like,
good.
you could have had Vin Diesel and Tyrese because family. He did respond with, I thought that, but I loathe Tyrese. I don't understand why he hates Tyrese so much.
I'm going to say there's a plethora of reasons to hate Tyrese. But Baby Boy puts that man into the Hall of Fame of acting.
He
in the hall.
He then went on to write Randy Couture and Anderson Silva. I can see that.
Can I go with Fire and Ice? A WCW tag team.
I'm going to butcher this name, but I do apologize. Kiana Nicole said Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames. We good? Yeah, we good. Mike of the Mic'd Up podcast YouTube channel said Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. He's missing the
Which one's too
hair,
old
though.
for this shit? Which
Well,
one's too old for this
obviously
shit?
Bobby Lashley's gonna be too old for this shit.
Damn it, Riggs!
And then Daniel finally with Goldberg. What do you mean you never saw me in The Longest Yard? I was a star of that film. Lashley, it should have been me.
Should have been me. Oh man. I am going with. I don't know why. Well, I'm not. I know why. I'm going with the winner of this one. I'm picking the Oh shit! I forgot it already. Tyrese. Oh, Tyrese and I don't know if they picked Tyrese and Vin Diesel, but that feels like the best possible answer.
Okay. So we've got some news topics we need to talk about today.
How about get to the chopper? The Predator.
So Adam Cole's WWE contract has expired. It had expired after the Great American Bash on the 6th of July. The reports are that he's on the verge of becoming a free agent as his current NXT deal is set to expire as he signed a short extension taking him up to TakeOver 36, where he's believed to be thinking about his future after that. WWE executives were under the assumption that his contract was due to end in January 2020. 22. What's wrong with me?
So, my understanding is this. So, whoever's in charge of the contract fucked up and thought his contract was over in 2022.
Yeah. But I obviously made this graphic yesterday. Where more news
Don't
has
tell
come
me by
out
that.
today.
You've been preparing for it for weeks. You had the scoop.
So we have more where Adam Cole has allegedly rejected several new contract offers from WWE. PW Unlimited, I've never heard of that before, reports that Adam Cole has already turned down multiple new contract offers from WWE. There's currently no indication what was included in those offers, but it appears that these deals were not to his liking. And allegedly, the mishandling of Adam Cole's contract in July is the contributing factor to Canyon semen, not the sperm, being fired.
Not to be confused with the actual Canyon. Because I can think of who's better than Canyon. A lot of them's better than Kerosene. I'm happy that man's fired because I don't understand how this could even happen. I don't know what's going on in the World Wrestling Entertainment Company, this publicly traded company, but it seems like they're just getting rid of anybody that anybody likes or love, and they're just shipping them away. And I don't know what's happening with Adam Cole. I don't know how you get to the point where he's on a temporary contract. I feel like the man is too talented to be on something like that.
Well, they've obviously screwed up as well, because him signing that short-term contract negates the if you're in NXT, it's a 1 month non-compete rather than the main roster contract with 90 days. Do you think he resigns, or do you think the law of working alongside his girlfriend and his friends leads him to heavily thinking about going to AEW?
I think he's gone. And I think this is a mass exodus for WWE, and I think he's gone because WWE doesn't seem to be in the business of signing anybody or offering anybody money or doing anything lately. I think this is once Adam Cole leaves, that is the camel that broke the back for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, this is the one when you go like, what is going on? And, you know, I understand he isn't Vince's type, and he probably was never going to make it to the main roster. And it will be better for his career probably to end up in AEW or somewhere like that. But I just feel like that they have no commitment to anybody at this point. Once you see The Fiend was released, and he was leading merchandise sales, and now Adam Cole seems to be slipping through the cracks or whatnot after never even given the opportunity. And then you see what's going on, whatever, with Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. I just feel like the company is just lost. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's running the company. It just seems like it's the only show that seems to make any sense is SmackDown. And it's fine, but
do you think it's a case of Nick Khan has now got too much power and he's in Vince's ear? Because that seems to be a lot with what's going on with the main roster. Like, the NXT releases didn't seem to really bother me as much. I think the release of it wouldn't even be a release. It'd be the mishandling of Adam Cole's contract would be rather foolish for me.
Yeah, it just seems like that's just bad practice from a business. Like, it just seems like the business is just falling apart. Who's ever in charge of the contracts, the business aspect of it, seems to be that part is falling apart. That they have to make these budget cuts or whatever quota they're trying to make or whatever call they're trying to do. It just seems like it's just a mishandling. That they couldn't re-sign someone like Daniel Bryan or, you know, be at the table with CM Punk ever, I don't think. And, you know, it just seems like there's in bad dealings everywhere. Everything seems to be a complete miss. Even the dealings with, we're trying to work with New Japan. How does that fall through as well? Like, everything's falling through.
Yeah, I that one I generally don't understand, but the CM Punk one I definitely think was off the table anyway because Vince just doesn't want to do business with him. There's been numerous reports like in the past of Vince not wanting to do business, but the Daniel Bryan one is strange. Like, you could have easily went, you know what, you can do New Japan for 6 months as long as you stay with us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that could have also boosted like revenue in Japan and stuff like that for WWE because in Japan they all watch the product.
Yeah, this is as someone pointed out, this is a global show. This isn't. They don't just care about the U.S. audience. They don't care. They can give dick about the ratings in the U.S. They're about that India money and everything else. Even though I believe AEW is going to start airing in India as well. So I have no idea what WWE's doing with their money. I have no idea what they're doing with this company. I feel like it's just being poorly managed. Maybe there is some grand scheme of it all that they're going to reveal. It's like, ha, we saved all this money for this particular reason. And you'd be like, oh, wow, this company is genius. But no. I don't see any of that, actually.
So before I jump into the next news segment, Maurice is watching us live.
Woo! Maurice Cam.
Be like Maurice. Watch the damn show.
Yeah. And by the way, can we examine his movie choices on his thing? I know this is top secret, and I don't see. There's the town.
Well, there's Veep. There's Veep in the top corner.
Yep. There's Friday. Friday's always a go-to DVD to have. And that's all I can tell out of this.
Welcome to the next segment, Invasion of
Aaron
Maurice's Home.
Brockovich. There's Aaron Brockovich at the bottom down there.
Invasion of Maurice's Home.
Yeah.
So
Super Nintendo.
Our next story is Tyler Breeze shooting on wrestlers using social media to express
Don't tell me they
frustration
released.
about their
Don't
booking.
tell me they released Tyler Breeze now, Manny. Don't tell me they. Oh yeah, they did that already.
They did that. I could give you the full statement, but I think the one that stood out to me is people are so entitled that they're like, I should have got this and you deserve this. No, none of us deserve anything. We are very lucky to be part of it, and we're lucky to get an opportunity. If that opportunity comes, you better be ready and nail it, and you might get more opportunities. Would you feel him shooting on wrestlers being entitled?
What? Yeah. I believe he's 100% correct, Manny. Like, I feel like all these wrestlers coming into, WWE with this dream of, I'm the next Steve Austin, or I'm the next Hulk Hogan, or they're going to push me through the moon, or whatever. But what they don't understand is that just like NBA or NFL free agents, I'm going to sign you to my team, don't mean I'm going to use you in my starting lineup. Like, I don't think, like, Alex Caruso, who just signed with the Bulls, is expecting to be the megastar that he is. Like, 'cause it seems like it's the wrestler mentality. Like, they just plan on, like, I'm going to be there and they're going to use me. And then on Twitter, they just seem to bitch and moan about it. And then they go to other companies and they talk about this and that. They never look. I feel like people don't look in the mirror in the wrestling industry and just be like, this isn't that bad. I'm getting paid, They didn't promise me that I was going to main event WrestleMania or win the Royal Rumble. I just feel like that everybody feel like they should be the main star of the show.
Well, I think there was something. I don't know if it was on that NXT Breaking Ground show or something along those lines, where Triple H definitely said, like, you coming here to NXT is not a guarantee you're going to be a star.
Yeah.
It's just us giving you the tools to get there. It's not always a guarantee. You are pretty much gambling on yourself when you sign with WWE, and essentially.
Well, number one, you're gambling on yourself, but you are gambling up because when you are starting in the business, they're probably paying more than anybody to just go to the developmental system than it's the huff and puff it on some indie circuit and pay for all your own travels and all that. Like, you do make a good set of coin and whatnot. And, I just feel like a lot of people don't go through this perspective. And, you could also say that this is why Tyler Breeze there was the guy, is that he never saw himself as the guy or whatever.
I think he's realistic, though, isn't he?
Yeah, it's very realistic perspective of who he was as a character and how far he was really going to go in their eyes. Like, I'm always curious when people sign with WWE, like, what are they thinking? Like, when, let me think of a wrestler real quick. Let's go with Adrian Neville, now known as Pac. What did he believe he was going to do? Like, he's amazing, great wrestler, developed some mic skills over time, he's solid. But has WWE ever pushed anybody that looked like him at his height and size? Did he go like, I'm the exception to the rule? Like,
yeah, I see where you're getting at. Yeah, I see where you're getting at.
Like, they don't have a history of that at all. Like, that's why I'm always like shocked when it's like, oh, they mistreated this person. It's going like that. How could they use Ricochet like this? They never pushed nobody in their life like Ricochet. Maybe Rey Mysterio. And that's a maybe Rey Mysterio.
So we'll get into Raw right after this.
Meet Marcus. You may know him from the Untitled Manny and Marcus show and the Sharpshooters Wrestling podcast. You may know He spent the majority of last summer living in his car, and now he's lost all his money in Vegas. Help Marcus by donating to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast, or going to storefrontier.com/DSPN and buying some of our merch. Help today, before it's too late.
I think it's too late, Manny. I think it's too late. I don't think I'm gonna recover that money anytime soon.
So before we actually get into the Raw report, Maurice said Tyler ain't wrong. They give you an opportunity, but it's up to you on how you make the most of it. You can't just sit there and wait for them to make you a star, which is true. If you're not pitching for yourself and expecting, you should be going there with at least 5 ideas, like a week if you're not doing anything.
And like the New Day and a few other people, you go in there and fight for ideas. You know, it may seem like it's a strain to go to Vince and whoever every single day with new ideas, but you know what? If you want to be that star, you got to put the work in and fight for who you want to be.
He then goes on to say, you're in a company with access to all the tools available to you. Use the tools, use the resources, and build yourself. You are your own individual brand, which is 100% true. 100% true.
Yeah. Again, as I pointed out, real stars always become stars anywhere. They can be stars anywhere. As a lot of these WWE releases have a start, you know, some of them still have their 90 day or whatnot, but a lot of them that go don't really actually do anything. Like they do the same stuff they were doing in WWE.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Kennedy, aka Ken Anderson, continued the same gimmick of the announcer gimmick throughout his entire career. Never really tried anything new after.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be the guy, wasn't he? The guy.
Yeah. I'm trying. You know, multiple people who just fall down that rabbit hole of like, oh, they're just doing the same gimmick, just with a different name, probably.
Do you not remember back in the day when MVP and Ken Kennedy were referred to as a young Rock and Austin?
Yes. Terrifying days. But not even bad. They have potential. It just did, you know, whatever the case happened didn't work out for either of them. And, you know, MVP found his freedom on the independent scene and made a career of it and didn't seem to need WWE. Went to Japan and Impact and everything else. And, you know, somehow he found his way back to WWE. Didn't think that would ever happen. And, you know, thriving at it. Now he's the main event of Monday Night Raw. Whatever that means now, don't know, but he is the main event.
All right, so Monday Night Raw kicks off with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. This was a pretty boring segment in my eyes, in my opinion. And then Lashley accepts Goldberg's challenge later on the night after MVP got speared as he stands and chats shit in Goldberg's son's face. And we've already alluded to, we believe that his son Gage should have got destroyed.
Yes, his son Gage should have been left bloodied, damaged, never to be seen again. Just beaten to a bloody pulp. That's what happens when you fuck with a black man kind of reaction. It's like, just insanity. Just like, oh my God. Like, that was gruesome. Grind his face with a piece of cutter, whatever it takes. Get ruthless. Start the show off hot with a complete beatdown. And then MVP. And only then said, yeah, I'll fight you, Goldberg, because I killed your son. Or whatever the case would be. I feel like they should have added some type of personal beef between them, but nothing seemed to come of it. The only thing that was notable in this segment was just the Chicago atmosphere of what they were chanting. We want the Fiend and CM Punk chants and Goldberg just sucking in general and people saying we ain't booing Goldberg, but yet chanting Goldberg.
Yeah.
At the same time, all this hypocritical, fickle fan reaction that you expect in the wrestling community. It's very confusing.
Why do we have fans again? Bring back the Thunderdome.
No, I can never go back. I can never go back to the Thunderdome, Eddie. I just couldn't take it anymore.
The people that should remain in the Thunderdome were Veer and Shanky, who had a handicap match against Drew McIntyre. I said in the mid-card match, Shanky looks like the Great Khali without the Super Soldier serum and the impressive beard.
Yes. R.I.P. Great Khali. I know he's still alive, but you know, he's not. The Great Khali is not around these days. They can use him in this group. And Jinder decides to commit a crime. I mean, not Jinder. Drew McIntyre decides to commit. Yeah. Drew McIntyre decides to commit. I don't care what anybody says. I said it on the show Saturday when we were talking about the Survivor Mathematic Challenge. And Chris Jericho fought Nick Gage, who decided to pull a pizza cutter. I was like, when does this end when you're stabbing people with light tubes and pizza cutters? Why don't somebody just bring out a knife? Lo and behold, Drew brings out a knife, #sword, and threatens them. And Shanky, Veer, and Jinder decide we're not playing wrestling anymore with you. You play too serious.
You're playing too serious. And again, I must allude to, how did these three men with chairs lose out to a man who struggled to get his sword? They had the numbers advantage.
Yeah, but when he resorted to the sword, Manny, if they would have got him with the sword, there's only one thing Drew could do to come back. He's coming back with a gun. I don't know why we've gotten to this point where Drew McIntyre's want to use lethal force on people and is pointing his sword in people's face. I honestly, if I'm Jinder, I'm shooting him. I'm putting a hit out on him. There's going to be some... I'm running him over with a car. I'm done with this. But what kind of match would you do in which we can involve Drew McIntyre's sword? Is it sword on the pole match?
Yeah, but then... Nah. Do you know why? The only sword in wrestling... Do you know the only sword that should be allowed in wrestling? Choppy, choppy, pee-pee. That's the only sword I will allow in wrestling law, wrestling history, and the only sword I'm allowing.
Again, the most dramatic segment in the history of Monday Night Raw.
It
You
faded
can't
to
end a
black.
show like that.
It faded to black.
Yeah, you can't end the show like that. And have me on the edge of my seat for a week. There were no dirt sheets back then. I couldn't know. I didn't know where they were going next with that. They chopped off a man's penis. He did it. He shouldn't have slept with that Japanese woman. He knew it. Val Venus, you shouldn't have. I just don't understand why that happened. And that is the only sword that mattered. And that was the last time a sword was used in violence. And Drew is threatening that same action. And I want police. I guess Jinder lost his lawyer, right? Is that guy never coming back?
The lawyer should be filing a lawsuit against Drew.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre should not make SummerSlam. I know Jinder is pitching the Pujami prison match for SummerSlam. Let's hope to God we don't get one. But
I do. I want to see it, and then I want to see your disappointed faces when you're in the arena watching it.
Oh no, I'll be ecstatic. And I will be the loudest one and probably the only one cheering for this match. Even though I'm saying I don't want to hear. If I got it live, I'm going to be able to tell people thousands of years in the future, I was at that Pujami prison match.
Okay, so a match that I was surprised. Do you know when you set the bar really low? Like so low? Like below the Earth's crust is what I'm talking about.
When Sheamus and Cesaro were like, we are the bar, they put the bar up here. Yeah, it's more like this. Hornswoggl's holding that up.
Yeah, Ria Ripley versus Nia Jax. Surprisingly, not a bad match. I don't know if it's because the bar was set so low that they could clear it very easily. Or maybe
there was no bar. Yeah, there was no bar for me on this one. It was an instant X when I saw the match come up on the card, Manny. It was a strike. It was.
Did you give it a strike?
No, it was. It was an instant strike. As soon as they announced this match and Ripley has come to the ring, I was like, what are we doing? Why is Shayna still with Nia? They're still bringing up Reginald in this story? And it happened, and I go, that is the best Nia Jax match I've seen that she had by herself. And
exactly.
I don't know if it's a long time, maybe ever. She looked good.
She did.
I really enjoyed the spot when she put Rhea's head against the pole and then she charged and threw all her weight in it, and I was like, she killed her. That's it.
It was a great.
Zaya with weeks out. It's just 0 now.
For Nia Jax, that was a great match.
Yes. Our expectations low. There was blood. It was a blood feud.
As you alluded in the pre-show, which no one heard, your week was started off poorly with Mansoor and Ali facing off against Mace and T-Bar. Obviously, the Sultans of Majestical Hair is what I'm naming them now. Lost.
I like to call them Head and Shoulders. Which one of them got to be head? Yeah,
knees and toes. This match was like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
I like what they're building between Mansoor and Ali. It's obviously going to be leading up to October, so I'm guessing they end up tag team champions at some point
in Saudi Arabia. And Mansoor can give his speech that he's been preparing for 2 years. He's gonna blow it off.
It's gonna be a good one because this one he's been held back by COVID.
Yeah, he's gonna be blow that one off from 2019. All you gotta do is believe in yourself. Rahat, do you hear me? I can be a tag team champion, and we found it together with a brother. And this is gonna be like, it's gonna be a long speech, and he becomes the president of Saudi Arabia at that very moment. Even though I believe it's a monarchy. I believe it's a monarchy, but he becomes president of Saudi Arabia at that given moment. I wish we could get, again, I'm going to say, this segment gets a strike because Mace is in it.
Yeah, I gave it a strike because Mace was in it.
And then he didn't help himself. When they came back, I think, from the break or when they were starting the match, and he was just biting into random air. And I was going like, you're so useless. And Dominic Dijakovic, a.k.a. the T-Bar, deserves so much better than this. So much better than you.
Did you see the tweet of him wishing someone get hit by a bus for those people that wish him to be released? Those people should be focusing their energy on wishing Mace be released, not T-Bar.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get collective. Let's all hold hands and pray on the release of Mace. Let's pray on it.
So, Charlotte Flair cuts a promo, says she can emphasize with bronze medalist today, Simone Biles, about mental health after claiming she will have her own nervous breakdown after Nikki cashed in on her, and her win was cowardly. Nikki then all doing this whilst taking furniture and utensils from underneath the ring, only to be attacked from behind with a chair.
Yes. And I didn't see the chair shot coming, but I was like, there you go, Nikki. I was happy she hit her. But it's unfortunate for Nikki. She would have done real damage to Charlotte, who got up right away, but Charlotte had her shoulder pads on in that outfit. Luckily, she saw it coming from all along. That outfit was an alien's outfit from the year 2007. 3007.
I was watching this quite quickly after I finished work. So I had it running at 2 speed. But there was a shot of Nikki Cross backstage before this segment, running backwards and forwards, and that in times 2 speed. I was dying laughing that I had to go back and play it at normal speed and just like, why is this so funny to me?
I think Raw cracked you at that very moment, Manny. But I thought Charlotte Flair, again, was the highlight of Raw. I thought her promo work was good. This is the Charlotte Flair show, literally Raw.
Yeah.
With her promo, I thought was really good. And I thought the main event she had with Nikki Cross at the end, or Nikki ASH, was really good.
And then we get Doudrop versus Tamina 2 belts.
I almost cried when this happened, Manny.
Enjoy
Why?
Sadness.
I think pure sadness. I don't even honestly know. I believe that this is causing me to have dramatic issues. One, I'm happy to see Tamina now with 2 belts walking to the ring. But the fact that we got a Tamina versus Doudrop match in the greatest Tamina singles match of all time, which the bar is set even lower than Nia Jax. I don't even know. I'm literally at the center, the core of the earth, to find out where my expectations for this match was. And Doudrop springboard elbow may be the spot of the night for
Yes.
her. That was a good elbow, and I was like, oh, that's good. But she lost the match, and I was like, why? Why is this happening? And then Alexa comes up on the screen, and she's like, and I'm losing the match, Eva Marie, which I thought was a nice little touch. It was petty, and I like petty.
And then they later attacked Alexa in the playground as Lily rises.
Yes.
And I don't care what anyone says. That shit was hilarious to me.
I laughed because it reminded me of The Undertaker. I was like, oh, shit. Like, literally my reaction was, oh, shit.
I was like, if you can't see the funniness behind that, because if you take wrestling too seriously and you can't find that funny, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Don't take wrestling that serious. Although, I don't know how we're supposed to accept that Lily helped the Zodiac Killer and other serial killers at their ranch. Alexa ain't killed nobody.
Yeah, that we
By
know
the way, yeah. Do off the show, you get faint CM Punk chants. Just faint ones. Nothing too much. Just at random portions.
Apparently, Damian Priest nearly broke character during this one of the CM Punk chants during the Miz TV segment.
I feel like he was cracking, but what did he say?
I felt like he was about to. It looked like it was unsettling him.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was frustrate straight me. Like, dude is here. Let's do our shit. Let us do our Mr. TV. Although, my favorite quote of the week, which I'm going to use, and I don't know when I'm going to use this, but I know I'm going to use this again in my life, and say, the wet don't forget. And I don't know what that means, but Morrison used it as referring to the Bad Bunny match. And he was like, the wet don't forget. And the whole drip and the whole water and moist and all that all works for me for whatever reason. I'm invested into that.
See, I nearly gave this segment a strike.
Oh, there it is.
Until the Miz got drip sticked. Then we had a Damian Priest versus Johnny Drip Drip short but sweet match. Sheamus attacked Priest after the match. Ricochet makes the save. I got to ask you, and then this gets turned into a tag match. I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
How about that slide into the stairs?
It was an amazing slide. It made me go, ooh. Made me go, ah. Now, but my question is, better Damian Priest, John Morrison finish in both back-to-back matches. The Crossroads finish or the, I don't even know. He flipped him and then, I forgot what the other finish was. The chokeslam, right?
Yeah.
He did the flip. First he did the flip, like, move, and then he did the chokeslam after. Which one did you prefer was the better finish to John Morrison?
The
Who took
second
two
one.
pinfalls.
The second one.
Huh?
The second
second
one.
one?
The Cody finish doesn't look good even for Cody to do it. Like, Cody should have a better finisher.
But that was the second finish.
No, Cody didn't finish. He didn't finish him with I'm calling him Cody though. No, he did Crossroads in the first one, didn't he?
No, he did that in the second one. He ended the second one with Crossroads.
I thought he clocked him and then dropped him with a choke slam.
No, that was the first one.
Then the first one. Crossroads is a terrible move.
It is. And Cody does it like the V-trigger and have people kick out of it. You know, that's the one thing I can get from a WWE show. Protecting of moves. The rest of the show can suck. And I'm not saying this Raw is good. But I did get some protecting of moves. Like, he landed whatever signature move he landed. And it was over on the same match. No matter what it was. And no one's kicking out of weird shit. So I do like that.
So
that's the positive I'm going to say about Raw.
So as we get nearer to the Karrion Kross and Keith Lee match, Levi appears. Alexa looks like the Brady Bunch girl with eyeliner. I think she will finally get to drop that creepy character now that Bray is gone. I don't think so. It's kind of working.
No, it's going to... I believe it's time to amplify it now that Bray's gone.
Yeah.
Someone has to take that merchandise mantle now that he's gone. I feel like that was
Nice.
that might be the business move. Nick Khan's going like, why do I need this guy when I could probably pay Alexa cheaper and get the same merchandise money, huh? And I can see him going to Vince McMahon going like this and them doing a little money dance and everybody in the room going like this. No, you fools. You fools.
He
You really
then
can't
says
bring up the money.
Bray
Really
isn't
does.
gone, which I believe is probably going to be his next story.
Bray's gone, man.
Uh,
To the moon I'm going, man. I had the whole world in my hand.
Riddle versus Omos. Omos tries to win by count out. Every week I am more and more impressed with what Omos does. Did you see the agility? Going rope to rope.
Yes.
You say
Yes.
Bolt couldn't have done that.
He did like 2 steps and I was like, oh. It was like looking at Shaq when he ran the floor. Like that's what it was. And you're like, oh, he can do that? Every time Omos does any little thing, and I believe this is what the Undertaker was talking about when he was like, yeah, you know, he can move slow, he can really do nothing, and then all of a sudden you go, ha ha, and do something real quick, and everybody's going, oh shit, and it looks impressive, even though I know he can. I want to see him do the Baron Corbin slide off the ring clothesline. I think he needs to take that move, put Baron Corbin.
I want to see that, but I also want to ask you the question. How long before the Omos dive? If Undertaker can do it, most big men can.
Yeah, not until he's in AEW, he's diving. I don't want to see Omos dive. I like where he's at. He's built really strong, and his matches are solid. And you know what? This one told a good story. It's not your high spot Canadian Destroyer super kick, all that, and Riddle lost, who, you know, seemed to be a fan favorite. But it told a good story that Omos is just dominant.
But the good thing
And he
about
didn't have
Riddle,
AJ this week.
Yeah, the good thing about Riddle is, though, he's so over that. A loss like this doesn't hurt him. He actually put over a giant and made him look credible.
Yeah. Again, Riddle might... I don't know if Riddle could have a bad match, because I was like, this could be the streak. This could end it right here. Him and Omos, as in Riddle have an okay match. But every time Riddle's in the ring, it's normally like... It's probably my favorite thing of the show. Every single week. It goes Riddle and Charlotte Flair. That's what I watch Raw for, apparently, now.
And then Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee. The match started off slow, but it started to pick up near the back end of it, and the fans seemed to get into it a little bit too late. But again, way better than their takeover match from last year. Does Kross losing again on Raw affect the story going into NXT tonight?
I don't know.
Because he's
Manny,
kind of two different people, isn't he? Right now, he's a low level goon on Raw to boss level on NXT.
Yeah, I mean, they really set the playing field that the NXT is the minor leagues. Like, he can hit the ball in the minors. He cannot hit a curveball on the main roster on the show. But I was at the point when I was looking at this. Keith Lee looked like a 50-year-old man. Karrion Kross looks empty without Scarlett and his big entrance. They came out and they did. It was a solid match, I guess, but I could care less about who won or lost. And I was like, we all lost. These could have been two dominant figures. You could have just had them have squash matches. The Jeff Hardy thing could have been a race. I just wish somebody would get a definitive win. Keith Lee won this time. Karrion Kross won the previous week. I'm assuming getting a rubber match. But I don't think I need this for the third or fourth time or whatever we're getting it.
Yeah, I think it loses. I think if you get it multiple times, like in weeks in a row, it loses the big fight feel. Like how many times we had I know they had nothing else to do last summer, but like the variations of Bayley, Sasha against Asuka, Kairi Sane, and all that, and then you throw Charlotte in there in the mix and stuff like that. You had so many matches given away so cheaply for free on just Raw or SmackDown that it was just like, oh, where'd you go from here? Like, and it was like that for like the entire summer. Like, don't get me wrong, the Sasha and Bayley run of the summer was great.
Yep. And I hate that they're reusing the same song for Lily and Eva for the Evolution. That, to me, that's Bailey and Sasha's song that they do it for the glory. They played that video so many times of them having all the gold and slapping tables, and it was a hell of a run from the golden role models who claim that isn't even their name. That's not even their name. Oh. But I could care less about this Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. They went with the 50-50 booking route with like who win this week and all that. And I was like, I just don't care anymore. And then the fans uproar of who's getting buried, who's not getting buried, and what's going on. And I feel like everybody's losing in this. The WWE's losing, the fans are losing, no one is winning in this storyline. Although Keith Lee seems to be really happy about this.
Well, it seemed like an emotional win for him. But yeah, as you mentioned, it is a lose-lose situation here, and it was highlighted by a comment I made in the MCM in regards to what is the narrative now, who's been buried, because it's hard to follow. And I believe the comments are about a 50-50 split. Some agreed with me, some didn't, and that's fair. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Can we do like Taboo Tuesday or Death of the Family, in which we vote who's killed off Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, and everybody voting like, oh, I gotta see how they're gonna do it. Although the only thing I feel like can save the storyline is if next week Keith Lee is fighting Karrion Kross and he's about to win, and then Scarlett interferes and costs Keith Lee the match.
Sets his eyes on fire again.
Yeah, and then the next week, maybe Mia Yim returns from whatever the hell she's at, and she helps Keith Lee the following week, and then they can have a mixed tag match to settle the feud.
So let's just cover some comments quickly. I think Keith Lee shows up tonight on NXT through a Dance with Joe and Cross. That's from Levi. I don't think that's happening.
Nah. That's a takeover anyway, right?
Yeah. I'm okay with Lee Cross having a series. It's something AEW fails at. The fact that the Bucks and FTR has only had one match is ridiculous. I agree with that.
But I agree with that to an extent. Like, I feel like on Raw, we just get the same matches over and over, and it just seems like there's no resolution to it. But in AEW, I feel like there's actually a fresh matchup, but we don't get the follow-up.
Yeah, you never really get follow-up.
We should get a follow-up.
And then Keith Lee ain't getting killed off. They don't kill him. Killer for nothing. Ayo!
Ayo! That's the reason why Karrion can't go by Killer, because Keith Lee owns the rights to Killer.
We get Reggie versus Tezawa. That was just more performance art.
You know what I was upset? I got a little sad on this one. And I don't know why. I got a little sad. One, I enjoy the whole Reggie thing. I enjoy Reggie. I don't care. He flips around. He does whatever. Like, it's
he wrestles in a shirt and capri pants.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. I'm down for it. But I was looking at Tezawa and I was going, I really like Tezawa, and I hate that he's right here. Just doing this.
Do you know what? Doing this. I did give this a strike, though. It is a shame that Tezawa had to stop everything, draw to a halt, and yell ninja power. And then and then lose.
And that's what made me sad. I was like, I miss Tezawa just wrestling. That's all I want to do. I just want to see Tezawa wrestle, have a match, drop the ninja gimmick. He lost 90% of his ninjas in the releases anyway. And Omos. By the way, this was the 1 year anniversary of Raw Underground, I believe. Omos got that victory. I feel like that was a callback because he was the best thing to come out of that shit.
So now we get Nikki Ash versus Charlotte Flair in a no-hold-barred match. Crowd was really into this. So was I. Don't know about you.
I was into it.
I
was all for it.
I found this match, especially as it was the main event of Raw, I found this match to be subtle, given the amount of death matches that we have had in main events on AEW as of late.
Yeah, and the blood in the Nia Jax match earlier.
Yeah. No, but it was subtle. Like, They didn't have to do too much.
Yeah. It was physical. They did spots, but it wasn't anything that was like, damn, I don't know if they could survive that. I thought the story that Nikki fighting back at the end and kind of powering up, or Charlotte being completely arrogant and having the match won, like I just feel like it was just good work and it really got you behind Nikki Cross and everything as a babyface.
And I think what people don't really give her credit for is how much, like, she put Nikki over. Let's not get that wrong, but like the heel work, incredible.
Yes.
Like for the last, I don't know how many months it was, 6 months.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Yeah, she's one of the best in the game, if not the best heel in the game right now, in all promotions. I mean, Roman is killing it on SmackDown, but that's just different level shit that no one's actually on. No one's on Roman's level.
I don't know. I think Charlotte can hold a candle to Roman.
True.
Those two are both
Roman
petty.
Yeah.
I think that they're both petty.
Yeah.
If you told me Charlotte was the leader of the NWO, I'd believe you.
It would be nice. I wouldn't mind seeing a dominant female faction though. No, I don't want the 4 horsewomen, but a dominant like NWO DX type faction or something like that. Made a bit mafia of women. I know it's people are thinking about the 4 horsewomen teaming up, but a Charlotte ran faction.
I don't even want that.
Big boss would be nice.
I don't even want that. I want a big mixed faction. The size of the Dark Order, because it would work, because you could do it across brands and be like, we own the WWE. Like you have the Raw chapter, the SmackDown chapter, and you have them
maybe
just take over.
Maybe that's what Mandy Rose is building on NXT.
With garbage. Did you see who she's hanging out with?
Gigi Darling, who might be high, and I forgot who the other person was. I think it was a no name, and you know she was looking at I think Frankie. You know, I missed the dog.
Levi said Reggie is a stereotype. He looks like Curious George out there. No, he doesn't. As Gorilla Monsoon,
he doesn't, but it's funny to me that
as Gorilla Monsoon would used to say to Bobby the Brain Heenan, "Will you stop?
Will you stop it? Will you stop?"
Charlotte, the most disrespected wrestler in the wrestling community. She's great at everything, but gets more hate for no reason. She's the Drake of wrestling.
Nah, Drake sometimes deserves his hate. I would go, and you know, I would go LeBron James, who's just hated in the revival. Like you can hate LeBron for a lot of things, but you cannot discredit the man's talent. And I feel like Charlotte is discredit on her talent.
Levi also says he wants a faction of ratchet women, led by Bianca. If you even wrote into the show with that story, I am not reading it. I am not putting a candle. I'm not putting my face to that.
All right, I'm gonna put together my ratchet faction. It's gonna be Bianca.
Kira Hogan.
Kira Hogan. Hey, you gotta get Tasha Steelz too. You gotta get Tasha Steelz. Big Swole. Apparently they're all gonna be black, but B-Fab will be in it and do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I tell you what. Big Swole would challenge Bianca for the title of who's the bad bitch of that group.
I feel like B-Fab would do it, and she doesn't have any claim to any of it.
Jade Cargill's presence would make B-Fab to fall apart.
Oh, I just had a power outage.
Have you just lost electricity?
I kicked the plug out somehow.
Oh, so
but
the Undertaker wasn't making an appearance.
No. Stop flickering the lights, Undertaker. If I had the power to control the lights, I would fuck with people all the time. Every time I walk into a room. What the fuck is going on? Why? But yeah. Ratchet, a bunch the Ratchet faction of random people, just randos all together. Dana Brooke will be in there. Dana Brooke will be in that faction for no reason, does nothing. Flex, represent the group super hard, but does nothing.
You know, I kept thinking about Mandy Rose today at work because I was so busy today, and I had to do 1,000 V lookups on Excel today.
Oh, okay.
And constantly, every time I did it, because you just have to type out the word V equals V lookup. So in my head, and sometimes I just say out loud what I'm doing, and then it's like V lookup. Man, I am so boring at work.
Yeah, and I like that you don't even care about Kenny Omega enough. That's Mandy Rose's move.
No, it's Mandy Rose. It's more effective with Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose has got at least 2 in her. Kenny has at least 7 in him before he puts you out.
Yeah, but you know, my favorite, we got a V trigger in the Omos and Riddle match, and Omos was like, "What the fuck?" It hurt him for a second, but I think if Kenny would have did it, Kenny would have died. I think he would have broke a leg. He's too small. Omos would be like, "Oh shit, he died." But yeah, that's the end of the show. We got nothing else to say.
Yeah,
Raw to me was not bad. It wasn't good. It was kind of bland.
If you don't watch Raw, you could just watch us talk about it, and you would have had a better time.
All the time, yeah.
We find fun in really bad wrestling.
Again, my matches of the night: Omos and Riddle, Ria and Nia,
That's my number 1 match of the night.
and Charlotte and Ash. Those are the 3 things I would watch. If you could break this show down into what I would watch on this show, it would be those segments, including the talking with Charlotte. I would skip Bobby and Bill because Bill's son is still alive. He should be in a wheelchair waving the American flag at his father at SummerSlam. That's what Bobby should have did to him. Should have got Medieval on his ass.
Why does this thumbnail remind me of rich people's argument of something like a tree or bush is crossing over this? That's a very middle class and rich person thing to argue about.
Yeah. I told you that this grill is better than that grill. I don't know. Like, why isn't your house solar power yet, Bobby? Get the fuck. Fuck you, man.
Bill, I'm gonna kill your son.
I'm gonna murder your son. I'm gonna take Drew McIntyre's sword and I'm gonna shove it up your ass.
Oh,
your sons.
You know what? I feel Bobby's pain because I know when he went backstage, he saw MVP hurting after that spear. He took it personal.
I did enjoy the MVP selling the spear as he was about to try to talk, but he was like, "Ah, it hurts to talk."
Nah, he just had some bad chili.
All right. So once we get through SummerSlam and Bobby beats Goldberg, hopefully to God he does. Who's Bobby's next guy? Who you got?
Well, I believe there's a draft coming, and I honestly believe I still think there's that story with Big E. This just seems like unfinished business with him, Big E, no, with the New Day and Bobby Lashley. It just feels like it, especially as they're both off TV at the moment, selling the injuries. I just feel like there's still an untold story with Big E. Or is it time maybe you give Riddle a shot?
Well, I'm assuming whatever him and Orton are doing, I'm assuming they're teaming up at this point.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Orton turns on him.
Yeah. There's part of me that want to go. I would give Big E the run on Raw with the title, because I think he can get a crowd hype at least, and be interested, invested into something. Because Bobby, I'm not invested into Bobby. Bobby's doing whatever he can. MVP's talking about, but they just don't have the right opponent. I don't really see anybody on that show on Raw when I look at it go like, that's perfect for Bobby. It's not Orton. Riddle maybe, but I feel like it'd be too comical. I want to take Bobby serious.
Or do you bring it?
We're on a low ground for Lesnar.
Do you bring back AJ into the mix of main event wrestling?
Maybe, but what about Omos?
There's a United States champion lurking.
Oh, that's Sheamus, man. He got it unlocked. He got his
Sheamus
division
doesn't-
unlocked.
I'm telling you now, Sheamus doesn't need a title to be Sheamus.
No, he doesn't. But I love Sheamus. He doesn't have bad matches. Even that little match they had today, I was like, I appreciate Sheamus in there. I was happy he wrestled in his hooligan outfit. Shout out to Sheamus, man. You know, just
But yeah, that is the end of the show. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Leave comments. There was loads of comments on the last 2 videos we had up. Always fun. I responded to as many as comments that there were. So just keep leaving comments. And I don't know what else we need. Go to www.storefrontier.com/DSPN.
yeah, before it's too late. Before I lose my hair. Or my left testicle. I already sold the right one.
And on that
Left
note,
testicle's on
guys,
the line now.
peace.